time has come to take that old rust bucket of an X7 to the next level by adding turbo print. This will effectively double your print speed without sacrificing print quality. Wow, that was fast. Okay, it might not be that fast, but we can unlock this powerful feature by upgrading that old A3016 extruder to the new and improved A3648 extruder. All we need is a 2mm hex key, a 2.5mm hex key, and the A3648 plastic extruder upgrade kit. Let's dive right in. First step would be to unload all your print materials. After all materials are fully unloaded from the printer, we need to detach the fiber tube from the fiber extruder. Remember to just loosen, but not remove, the top left socket head screw connecting the fiber bowden tube to the fiber extruder. Then pass that fiber bowden tube through the channel at the bottom of the plastic extruder towards the front of the printer. Next, we want to remove both bowden tubes from the plastic extruder. This is done by unscrewing the brass connector on the outlet of the plastic extruder and pressing in on the push to connect fitting on the inlet of the plastic extruder. After we remove all bowden tubes from the plastic extruder, we will now remove the plastic extruder from the gantry. Use the 2.5mm hex key to remove and set aside the two screws securing the plastic extruder to the rail. Next, carefully disconnect the three cables from the plastic extruder. Note that the largest of the three cables connects to the bundled wires protruding from the outlet side of the extruder and has a latch that must be depressed before disconnecting. Now remove and set aside the old plastic extruder. Note, we will want to send the old extruder back to Markforged for analysis, and we do not want to discard it. Once we remove the old extruder, we want to make sure we remove all the old extruder cables. We will start by disconnecting both cables from the front stepper motor. Next, we unclip the plastic feed tube from the guide clip. Then, use the 2.5mm hex key, remove and set aside the four screws connecting the cable guard to the rail. Remove and set aside this cable guard. Next, disconnect the short 4-pin cable from the front socket of the rear stepper motor. We have now removed all the old components from the A3016 extruder, and we can begin to install our new A3648 extruder. First, we want to connect our replacement cables from our upgraded kit. Start by connecting the long 4-pin cable to the front-facing connectors on the top of both rear stepper motor and front stepper motor. Next, plug the short 4-wire cable into the rear-facing socket of the front stepper motor. Once we have that cable secured into the front stepper motor, we will need to install the cable guard. Making sure to tuck all the wires behind it, use a 2.5mm hex key to reinstall and tighten the 4 screws connecting the cable guard to the rail. We can now clip the plastic feed tube into place into the guide clips. After we secure the plastic feed tube, we will need to connect the one end of the 6-pin cable to the latched 6-pin connector in the front left corner of the printer. Then, attach the other end of the 6-pin cable to its corresponding connector on the front face of the new plastic extruder. We can now finish installing the short 4-pin cable to the socket on the back inward face of the plastic extruder. Make sure to secure the cable using the wire management clip in the front face of the extruder. Now install the extruder onto the rail, pressing it back against the case until the mounting holes line up. Use the 2.5mm hex key to install the 2 screws securing the plastic extruder to the rail. Once the new extruder is secured, we can reconnect both bowden tubes to the plastic extruder. This is done by tightening the brass connector on the outlet side of the plastic extruder and inserting the feed tube into the push to connect fitting on the inlet of the new plastic extruder. Next, pass the fiber bowden tube through the channel on the bottom of the plastic extruder towards the back of the printer and reinsert that tube into the slot on the fiber extruder. Then use your 2mm hex key to tighten the top left screw until the metal inlet is secured but not flattened. After a little housekeeping or neatly tucking all internal cables and connectors behind the lid of the printer, we can power on the printer. If the printer's firmware is up to date, it will automatically detect a new extruder. If not, power off your printer, wait 30 seconds, and power it on again and update the printer's firmware. To finish off this upgrade, all we need to do is calibrate the stepper motor encoders and reload our print material. Your X7 is now ready to print faster and better than ever. For more helpful videos on the entire Markforged platform, visit MLC CAD Systems YouTube page and the website for more information.